Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome back to Argsy Farms on the Oaks multiplayer server. We've been away for a couple of months. We've missed out on July and August, but fortunately we didn't have too much to do on our farm. Things have just been ticking across nicely. We did have someone keeping an eye on it, but the grass has been growing, the canola has been growing, and as you can see in front of us, the canola is now ready to harvest, and we actually only have the month of September to get it done. So we are in here and we're going to go and jump in very soon and make a start on harvesting it. Now, we don't actually have our own harvester. In fact, this is the only harvester on the whole of the map across all of the farms. This is the only one. It's owned by the Hanson Farm. As you see, if I just stand there, you can see that down the bottom, Hanson Farm. So they have very generously loaned that to us, or leased it to us. We'll be paying them for the privilege. And I think somewhere back over there, there's Hanson too. He's watching us, making sure we're not going to wreck anything. But we've also got their trailer here as well, so we're going to be using that to haul the crops and hopefully dump it down in the bins over at our farm. I haven't actually tested those. I know there were some issues with some of the other farms for the bins. But everything's looking pretty good. You can see we've got a potential harvest quantity of about 44,000 litres. So that's not too bad. I'm pretty impressed with that. That will go quite some way to earning us some money. Of course, we haven't actually earned any money yet. We're still sitting there around the $98,000. But let's jump in. We're going to crank this up, fire it up, and see how we go with getting things started. I'm looking forward to finally getting in here and getting our first crops harvested. Now, just while we do that, we do have some grass ready to go as well. As things have happened, the grass is ready to harvest at exactly the same time as our canola, but because we're in the window where we've only got a couple of days left to be able to harvest this before the end of the month, I figured this was probably the priority today rather than worrying about the grass. It can sit there because I'm not sure we might be able to get. Oops, we need to unfold things there. Just get that unfolded. There we go. Ladder gone down. Hopefully unfolding the hopper and everything up above us. We'll just give that a second or two. We should be good to go. There we go. Get that turned on. It's going to lower down. Let's even put the cutters there on the edge of the header for us, seeing we're in the canola. But there we are, up and going, and everything seems to be working very well. But as I was saying, the grass can probably wait if we can't get that done. We are going to look at making some more silage. We're actually going to try. I'm just going to pause there and jump out and make sure everything's working pretty well. Very noisy, but we are going to try and make some more silage bales and actually sell some of them. We've got a bit of a plan to get some hay through the store rather than actually making it ourselves. I think we can earn more by selling the silage and then using some of the profits there to make some hay, to buy some hay. So that is the plan, but everything looks to be running pretty well there on the combine. So we're just going to jump straight into some harvesting, crack into it. We'll get the field opened up, a couple of headland passes around, and then we'll be able to get going on some up and down rows. Fortunately, it does look like, just looking down there, we do have GPS installed on this combine, which will make things just a darn sight easier for us as well, particularly as I'm enjoying using in-cab driving a whole lot more for working on these fields. So let's just get this turned on. In fact, before we go too much further, I'm just going to check the setting and see if the snap to terrain angle is on or not in the GPS. It is, that setting there. It must default back, or someone else likes having it snap to terrain rather than off. I like having it off because then if you're working on a field which isn't quite square, which I don't think this one is, you can set yourself a better A and B point. So let's try that out now. Should be our A point going down. I can't actually see because we haven't gone anywhere. We'll do that one. We'll do that one. Let's see. No, got to create and load a track first. Let's see if we're getting an A point there. Hopefully that's our B point. There we go. We're up and going, and looks like, looking at the edge of the header there, we've managed to stay pretty much on the edge of the field with some good alignment, which is fantastic. It's pretty cool looking out across the fields though and seeing all the other things that are ready left, right and centre. There's lots and lots of crops already ready around the farm. or around the map. I know that the others have all been busy harvesting. I'm not sure what else is ready on the farms. We might go and take a little bit of a look and see what people have been up to a little bit later on. But for now, our focus is to try and get this all harvested and done. So we're just going to crack into it. Jump into a little bit of a time lapse, I think, is to get the fields opened up, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Well, I like to say I judged that pretty well. We've got 1% capacity left in the hopper, so that worked out very, very nicely indeed. Field well and truly opened up now. We went around the field twice and then took off 4 passes on each of the headlands, which has given us a good amount of space to turn around in. It was interesting actually on the first headland pass. I was keeping an eye on how much grain we took off that, and I think it was about 4,500 litres, which when you think about the fact we ploughed around most of this field and probably not quite the width of the header, probably about half that, but we probably added 2,500 litres of canola into the crop, which we wouldn't have had if we hadn't done that field expansion. So I think that justifies doing it. Haven't actually looked at what the price and value of canola is and what the potential sell price might be for this yet, but that'll be something we'll take a look at in just a little bit. Obviously we need to figure out when the best time to sell it is as well, but there we go, getting that trailer filled up very, very nicely, and we're just going to carry on getting things done. It's not going to take too long. I think maybe we might get 3, maybe 4 lands out of this, but we'll certainly have to go and take some down to the silo very soon, because we're not too far away from having a full trailer there as well. So again, thank you to Hanson and his team for letting us lease the trailer, and we didn't need the tractor, but it was easy for them to bring it up here than us go down there. And it's a bit of a blast from the past having the Landini again, very similar to the tractor I used in No Man's Land a wee while ago, so it's nice to see that back. Anyhow, let's carry on. We'll get a little bit more done, get some more grain into the trailer, and then we'll head on down to the farm and get some put into the silos. Well, fingers crossed we can put it into the silos. If not, we're going to have a stack of grain sitting on the floor in one of the sheds somewhere. So we'll carry on and see where we end up. So we're about halfway through the field. I've just come over to unload the combine once more, and I thought we had a bit more room in the trailer than what we do, and it was stopped unloading, and I was trying to figure out why. And I do recall now that I'm used to playing with the trailer capacity just being what it is. If it's a 30,000 litre trailer, it takes 30,000 litres, but I'm pretty sure that we are playing with the weight restrictions on, so the trailer can only take its maximum weight. So if we just hop into the tractor and take a quick look, there you go, you can see max weight. So we're just under 30,000 litres, 82% full, but we're not actually going to fit anything else in there. So let's go for a drive and take this down into the yard. We will go and see if we can get this dumped into our bins, whether they're going to work or not, or whether we're going to have that slight little issue that I do know did strike one of the other farms. So time will tell whether it's something we can use or whether we are going to have to put all of this somewhere on the floor in one of the sheds. It's not like we're short of space or anything like that, so let's just wait and see what we need to do. But let's go this way, get out here, put everything on flashing. There we go. That should be our hazards, and I think that should be our beacon on now too. So we'll carry on, we'll go down and see how we go with getting this unloaded. We've made it back here to the yard. I'm just going to head on in. Now the silos are around to the right. We'll go around and see how we get on with those. Got the tractor in there, got the Massey ready to go out for some mowing if we manage to get this all harvested. Go and get some grass mowed ready to make some silage, more silage bales. But let's have a look. I think got our unload is the left hand side. Make sure we get into there. A bit tight actually. Let's see, hopefully we've got square enough on that we're going to get through with the trailer. Let's see if we get a trigger. That's a little bit of a worry. No trigger just yet. I'm not sure if it's on the back. Oh, there we go. I can see it. It has come up. Let's get that activated. And let's hop out and have a look. Alright, there we go. That's looking good. We are getting our canola dumped into our silos. That's a relief. I was worried we weren't going to be able to use those, but they look to be working just perfectly. So there we go. First of our canola getting dumped into the shed. Jump back up in there, and there we are. We are completely empty. Now hopefully, this is a pretty tight little turnaround area in here, I'm not sure. Actually, this trailer, being an articulated trailer, is probably the perfect choice for doing this around here. Now what I do want to test is, as we drive back through here, do we get an option to fill with the canola? We can. There we go. There's our canola that's in there. Perfect. Right, well I'm happy with that. I was a little bit worried it wasn't going to work, but it has. So let's head on back down to the field and we'll carry on getting things harvested. Well, we've made it back down here, everything all unloaded, which is good. You can see Legion in here having a little bit of a look at what we're up to. He's got a vested interest in the farm, of course, but not hanging around for too much longer, I don't think. He's just coming to see how things are going. We keep an eye on me, make sure I'm doing things correctly, but we'll just park that up there, turn everything off. Busy server tonight though, busy server. There's 5 people online at the moment. There was someone else on earlier too, so there's been 6 different people on the server in the hour or so that I've been online. So pretty cool to see everyone here working. You can see there the chat talking about it and everything like that, so very good to see. Right, we're going to jump in here, get things turned back on. Of course we've actually got 6,000 litres we need to go and empty out, so we better go and do that, and then we'll carry on with the harvesting. And with this last little pass, we'll be done with our canola. And I'm not even sure how much we've ended up with, but that has gone very, very well. We will just pick the header up and grab that little bit there next to us that we've missed. I think we've managed to get everything off the field. There's a couple of spots that I tidied up on the other side of the field on the headlands that we didn't quite get everything perfectly, but I think that is us all done. So first harvest on the server is done and dusted for us. It's in the books, it's almost all in the silos, and we'll be sitting on that now until we can find a good price for it, which I'm not even sure. I think it's in around December or January, so we're not too far away actually from being at peak canola prices. Hopefully we've got enough capacity here in the trailer to be able to put the last tier in. I don't want to be stuck with a few hundred litres in the combine. No, there we go, perfect. Be interesting actually when we hop into the tractor to see how close to full that is, because of course it does have the weight limit there. But let's go and put the header back on the trailer. We will go and take the combine back down to our yard, give it a wash before we take it back to Hanson's, and then we'll be able to move on to a little bit of mowing. I think we will try and get a couple of fields mowed before we log ourselves out for today, but I'm pleased to have been able to get that done. Now we need to hop out. Of course, disconnect both of those before we can take that off. Now, do we have to do it that way? There we go. That is the one thing. Oh, is it going to snap onto the trailer? I hope it is. That doesn't look very good. Let's try and tidy that up a little bit. A little bit unorthodox there with the way the trailer's positioned on the angle, but it was nice to see the Hanson guys, when they brought this down here for me, put it in such a way that they didn't drive on any of the crop and damage it, so that was very much appreciated. Let's put that there now. That should hopefully be in a little bit better position for it. Let's get it hooked up and we'll get on back down to the yard, and then we'll come back and grab the trailer and we'll see how much canola we've ended up with. So we've come over and grabbed the trailer. I've got 26,000 litres in here to go with the 27,000 or so we've already got in the bin, so we've ended up with about 50,000 litres, which isn't bad. I'm pretty impressed with that. Pretty happy to get that level of canola off there. We're not too far away from being full as well based on the weight. I think we were at 82% capacity, was 100% full last time, so worked out pretty well to do it in 2 trailer loads. Now we got the combine back. Just make sure we turn on our blinkers there, or our warning lights, and we'll go back and get this emptied out. We've got the combine back at the yard. We'll give that a wash down when we get back as well, and then we'll get everything taken back over to Hanson's, and we'll have to let them know how many hours we've put on the combine and on the tractor, and they'll have to invoice us appropriately for it. And there we go, getting the canola tipped into the bin. So once we've done this, we will take a very quick look at our stock levels and see exactly what we've ended up with and what our potential income might be off that. So we go 54,000 litres total. Current price $645 per 1,000 litres, so that's a $35,000 value. But max price will actually get us up around 40,000. So I'm pretty happy with that. $40,000 of profit and income off that field. So good to see. Now have to negotiate our way back around out of here. Get this washed down for Hanson Farms, then we'll get everything taken back over to them. So we've made it down here to Hanson Farm. I'm just going to head on in this way. We've already brought the tractor and trailer down. Let's go in and have a look, and we've just parked up here. I don't know exactly where they put things in their sheds, so I just thought we'd leave it right here. It's out of the way enough that they can still get in and out with whatever they're doing, but it's also parked out of the way and easy for them to get to. So we'll turn that off, jump out of there, and there we go. That did us pretty well actually. Quite impressed with that Deutz Fahr. Went very, very well. Be nice to have something a little bit bigger in the future. Obviously something we want to get. Better turn those hazard lights off too. There we go. Something I'd like to get for our farm at some stage, because you know, obviously we want to be getting into the arable crops, but for now having someone we can lease is pretty handy. And yeah, nice to see the old Landini back out and about. Not too much to see here at their farm. It is quite a big yard though, and they do have, if I can head back up this way, I think there's a couple of cattle pastures or cow barns back up this way. I'm heading in the right direction. I'm not sure if they've got any cows yet. Let's go and have a look. We'll be nosy while we're here. Doesn't look like it. Oh, it looks pretty empty in that one. And likewise pretty empty over in this one. So no cows here yet for Hanson Farm, but I'm sure they will be getting cows At some stage you wouldn't have bought this farm if that wasn't the intent, much like ours. So anyhow, let's head on back up to the farm. We're going to go grab the mower, and in fact the mower's already down in one of the fields. Legion did start out doing a little bit of mowing before he had to head off, so we'll go down, carry on doing the field he was in, and see where we end up. So we're over here in the longer of the two fields. This is the one closer to the canola where we were, and as you can see, we'd already made a start, or Legion had already made a start here on the mowing, so we're just going to carry on. It's not actually going to take us very long to get it done. In here with this setup, it does go nice and fast, which is good. So we're just going to crack through, get this all cut and mowed, and then we'll shoot over to the other field. And I think once we've got that done, that'll probably be a pretty good spot for us to leave things here for today, and then hopefully by the time we come back next time, this will all be baled and done, and we'll be looking at what our activities are for next month, October, which I'm not too sure what we're going to have to do, to be honest. We'll just have to keep an eye out on what's available. But let's carry on, get this one field mowed, and then we'll move down to the other one and get that one done as well. Well, that's both fields mowing now, and a decent amount of grass on there. I don't actually know if it gave us any stats on how much grass we might have ended up with. It'll be interesting to see, because this is of our first mow on this since we replanted it, if I'm not mistaken. So it'll be interesting to see whether there was any benefit to do that, or whether we get less grass or more off this once we get around to baling it. Oh no, there was a car, I didn't check that very well. There's a few of them coming along there, actually, quite a busy part of the road. Here we go, you can see better in this viewport than we could in the third person view. So this is actually much better on this map to be driving this way. But anyhow, that is us all done and dusted for the key tasks we need to do. We've got the grass mown and we've got the canola harvested, and it is in the bins, which is exciting. It's good to get that done. We'll have to make some plans for what we're going to do with that field next year, with in terms of crops. Have a look at whether we keep the crop rotations going, or whether we need to look at something else. Of course, with the seeder we have, the small weeder, we actually can't plant anything other than canola grass or oilseed radish. So we'll just have to give that a little bit of consideration as to what we do with that. Anyhow, we're going to head on back up to the farm, get everything put away, and log off for the day. So, hope you've all enjoyed that catch-up and episode on the oaks. As always, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.